In January 2024, the Toronto real estate market had a total of 54,807 showings. Seems like a lot, right? So the first month of 2024 has been completed, and that means that we get to go over the stats to see exactly what's been happening in the world of the Greater Toronto Area real estate market. I've been seeing this a lot lately, but it really is an interesting time in the market right now. There was a home in Mississauga that had 85 showings, believe it or not, and sold at market value last month. There was another home by the Scarborough Bluffs that had 24 offers on it, and that one went well above the asking price in comparison to recent comps. And when you look at condos, you still have a lot to choose from, although activity in that segment of the market is slowly but surely changing, which I'm going to be going over in today's video. The number that I said at the beginning of this video represents the total number of people who booked a showing through a real estate agent here in the city of Toronto in January. The number of showings in January 2024 was up 35% when compared to the same time last year, where that month had 40,000 total showings booked. So this is a pretty sizable increase and simply shows us that more people have their boots on the ground right now and are viewing properties. When we look at things a little closer on a month-over-month basis, we can see that sales actually ticked slightly for detached properties here in Toronto. They remained pretty level or flat for semis and for townhomes, and they actually jumped up by almost 250 units for condos on a month-over-month basis. So it's pretty safe to say that condo apartments were our most vibrant asset class here in January 2024 from a sales perspective in the 416 area code. If we take a look at the GTA as a whole now, there were a total of 4,223 units sold last month, which is greater than the last 2 months of data recorded and over 1,100 more units in comparison to January 2023. Not bad, right? And this actually doesn't come as that big of a surprise to me if we just take a look at what the showings were last month and how many people were actually out there shopping around for properties. Sentiment in the news has become more bubbly as of late, giving consumers confidence to get back out there. I've noticed that that's been a common theme across articles and news outlets here in 2024, but P.S. you definitely shouldn't be making your decisions based primarily on what you read in these articles or these news outlets, right? But it does really influence the Canadian real estate market a great deal here. Again, seeing this increased activity throughout many markets here in the city also makes sense when you look at interest rates, right? Consumers are getting better mortgage products right now, especially in that fixed rate category. Those are sitting at like high fours right now, which is pretty good and obviously a main factor pushing home buyers off the sidelines. Switching things up to prices now. Sale prices as a whole have also eased in the GTA to an average price point of $1.026 million, and this is for all asset classes combined. Keep that in mind. But the 416 area code specifically saw detached properties trade for $1.57 million, which is down 3.4% month over month, and semis went for $1.2 million, up 2.2% when compared to December 2023 data. Townhomes now. Townhomes sold for, call it, $900,000. This category actually fell by 18%, so a lot more noticeable relative to other asset classes on a month over month comparison. Condos, those came in at an average price point of $710,000 in January 2024, which is actually unchanged percentage-wise from a month prior. Okay, so we know what's happened with prices, the number of showings, and the total level of sales that took place in January 2024, but now I want to go over some other fun categories, which are the active listings for the month and the inventory rate, along with the average number of days on market that it took before a home was sold. Before moving on, my name is Trey and I'm a real estate agent here in the city of Toronto in the GTA. If you've got any questions at all about what goes into buying your first home or what it's like to rent in the city, or if you're selling and moving into a new space, give me a shout by using the first link down below and schedule a call with me during a time that suits your availability. All right, now let's get back to it. Active listings or inventory is a really straightforward metric and actually represents how many homes or condos are still available for sale on the last day of the month. The total in January 2024 came in a little over 10,000 units at 10,093. This number dropped a modest 2.6% from last month and a not so modest 40% when compared to November 2023. I do want to note that it is typical for inventory to be elevated in the window of, call it, October and November ahead of the holidays, and then in December, active listings you'll see will dip as people are in holiday mode by that time. Checking out the inventory rate now, inventory for the month of January 2024 is a little bit of a tricky one. I want to make that clear before moving on. The GTA as a whole seems to be in a seller's market with 2.4 months of inventory. Also, a quick reminder for those of you who may be new to the channel, anything from 1 to 3 months of inventory is going to be classified as a seller's market, 3 to 6 is a balanced market, and 6 months plus is going to equal a buyer's market. We know that the Greater Toronto Area real estate market is actually made up of a bunch of different submarkets, right? So I'm going to be going over 2 different examples to highlight the inventory rate in a couple of these different markets. Also, here's a little tip. The markets with higher inventory rates right now still have some opportunities for deals to be had. So the first market that we're going to cover is where I'm from, the Scarborough Bluffs. E08 is the area code in the MLS system, and it has Guildwood Village, Scarborough Village, Cliff Crest, and Eglinton East here. So these are the neighborhoods that kind of make up E08 collectively. The inventory rate for a detached house in this pocket was 1.3 months, so even less than what the GTA average is. So when you look at it and peel it back, there's not a lot to choose from here, which would keep demand for this type of property higher. The next submarket that we're going to be examining will be downtown condos in the CO1 marker. The borders here will basically be Bloor to the north, Lansdowne to the west, Bay Street on the east, and then Lakeshore and Queens Quay to the south if you're familiar with our city. But this pocket had an inventory rate of 4.2 months here in January 2024, which is very different from the E08 detached home example, right? So at the end of the day, there's more selection for now in the downtown condo segment when directly comparing it to a freehold product in the east side of Toronto. We're going to conclude with days on market. In January, this number sat at 40 days, which means that on average it took a home roughly 5.5 weeks to sell. That's a pretty long time, especially coming from markets a couple of years ago where a place that you wanted to potentially purchase could be gone in under a week during those really crazy sellers markets. I expect this number to be down a considerable amount, like 5 to 10 days or more, taking that average to anywhere from 26 to 34 days, maybe next month in February 2024. And that's because so many places that were sitting still in the market started to get offers on them in January, right? Buyers gained a lot more confidence when they caught wind that the Bank of Canada may lower interest rates, and this is actually what brought that total higher here for days on market. With that said, we have come to the end of the very first market report video of the year here in 2024. I really hope that you enjoyed it and got something of value from it, and I'm really looking forward to delivering more awesome content your way here in the coming weeks. Again, be sure to hit me up if you have any questions at all about real estate, and be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay in the know about everything happening in our world of real estate. Remember to trust the process and fall in love with your journey.